Welcome to day 4 of the virtual Brandon Burlsworth football camps. If you are watching on social media, please hit that share button now. I am Marty Burlsworth, and we are coming to you live from Harrison, Arkansas. Campers, if you were with us on day 3, you know we worked a lot on the offensive line, and we also had some great wide receiver instruction. And we've got a great lineup today as well. We're going to be working on speed, agility, and strength and conditioning. Also, we're going to have some quarterback instruction, and for some of our older quarterbacks, this may be tailored more to you. We've got some great things coming up. Something special also, we'll be hearing from Coach Tommy Tice. He will actually be our speaker today, so we're looking forward to that. Right now, I want to thank our sponsors, as we always do. Nike, Gatorade, Farm Bureau Insurance of Arkansas, and Chick-fil-A. Without these sponsors, these camps just would not be possible. Guys, we're going to get camp started right away, and we're going to go ahead and get our first coach introduced. He is standing by. First coach today began his career at the University of Arkansas as a walk-on and was a member of the SEC Academic Honor Roll. Now, Price Holmes is now a high school coach in his hometown of Batesville, Arkansas. He's going to be working with you on the speed and agility. He's got some really good things in store for you. So let's go to Batesville, Arkansas, to Price Holmes.
Hey campers, my name is Price Holmes. I'm from Batesville, Arkansas. Coach football here at Batesville, Arkansas, Batesville High School. I played football at the University of Arkansas from 2009 till 2013. I was fortunate to walk on at the university and blessed and probably undeserving to earn a scholarship while I was playing. But Brandon and his story really inspired me as a small town Arkansas kid to, go to the school of my dreams, and I had to walk on, and I didn't have the illustrious career that Brandon had, but looking back on it, I was proud and, relied a lot on him and his inspiration of what he did in the story that he had when he walked on and became an All-American at Arkansas. So I'm sure you guys will hear a story or two of Brandon from his former teammates, but he's just a story of pure determination, grit, commitment, all those things wrapped up in one. So you guys should really, take note of Brandon and who he was as a player and as a person. I encourage you guys to watch the movie Greater. It's super inspirational for a young athlete, and it was super inspirational to me. I'm going to talk to you guys today some stuff that you can do at home. You don't need equipment for, just maybe something laying around the house. We're going to talk about some sprinting stuff that you can do and some conditioning stuff that you can do. All of it you can do at home, whether it's out in a park, out in a big grass field, sidewalk, the street, as long as cars aren't coming. All of it stuff that you guys can do at home while we can't work with you guys and coaches can't work with you guys right now. It's something that can get you off the couch, get you moving around, and I think it can help you become a better athlete and a better football player. I'm going to talk first about the acceleration, of your sprint. So if you sprint 3 times a week, true sprints, we would want one day to be acceleration. So that means the shortest part of the sprint, So that's anywhere from 10 to 15 yards, all right? Then on a different day, we would want to work our velocity, part of the sprint. So that's the longer part of the sprint. You're going to reach velocity, max velocity around 30 to 40 yards. Your acceleration and drive phase is that first part. So one day when sprinting, I would work the acceleration part, and then one day work the velocity part. So it's a little longer. So we'll stick with the acceleration. If this was day 1 of the week, if we went on a Monday, this would be what we would do to start. This is trying to improve your start. All right, trying to improve our acceleration part of our sprint. So one drill we can work is a push-up start. All right, start on your stomach. Chest is on the ground, and I'm gonna try to pop myself up, all right, and I'm just gonna go for about 10 yards, all right? So hands are on the ground, chest on the ground. You can give yourself a countdown in your head. I'm gonna try to pop myself up, driving out for 10 yards, So chest on the ground, toes are in the ground, hands are in the ground. Give myself a countdown in my head. take a lot of time to slow down, that's fine. Slow down on the balls of your feet, okay? That's a push-up start. The next thing we'll work is a kneeling start, okay? A kneeling start. So we can come back here to the start. Okay, we're gonna try to get 2 with the right knee down, 2 with the left knee down. So I've got my right knee on the ground, toes dug in the ground, toes dug in the ground. Give yourself a countdown in your head. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna start with our arms cocked, ready to go, and we're gonna drive out for 10 yards, okay? So I give myself a set and a go on my head. So the last part, you could either come out of a 3-point stance, which is this, 1, 2, 3, or a 2-point stance, 1, 2, okay? And work those short sprints. Now, when we work sprints, you can see I'm winded. You wanna take a big recovery window in between each rep. So if I was working a 10-yard sprint and we're working acceleration, I'm gonna wanna take about 2.5 minutes in between each rep, okay? I don't have time to do that in the video, but when you're at home, that's what you wanna do, okay? Is take about 2.5 minutes in between each rep. So that's focused on the first part, acceleration, all right? When we would go max velocity, that's the longer sprint, okay? So what you can do is step off 30 steps or step off 40 steps, okay? Down your sidewalk, on the edge of your street, out in the field, drop you a marker on one end and the other end, okay? In those, boom, we're gonna run full speed for that distance, right? A little longer, so you're gonna have to take a little more time to recover between each rep because this is not conditioning, okay? If we wanna get fast, we've gotta sprint. And if you're not fully recovered, we're not sprinting and we're not getting faster. So make sure you're giving yourself a big window. If we're running guys, 30 to 40 yards, we give around 4 minutes in between each rep. And you don't have to run a lot of them, 5, 6, 7 reps, okay? But make sure you are going as hard as you can every rep. So we went over the push-up starts, the kneeling starts, the 10-yard starts. I'm not gonna run the full 40 because I may blow my hamstring out, but and it'll take a little too much time. But like I said, you step off, each step is about 1 yard, okay? When you're walking down the street, marking where you gotta run, okay? So one day, work the short stuff. A couple days later, work the longer stuff. But you gotta make sure you're going as hard as you can. Another thing you guys can look into, if your neighborhood or a park around you has a little hill, right? Running hill sprints, okay? Those are really, really good. They do hill sprints at every level, okay? Because they really help with your speed development. So if you have a little hill incline around your neighborhood, up the sidewalk in a park that's close to you, go run that hill, man. I'm telling you, it's old school, but that really helps with your speed development. I'll go over a couple more things that you can do at home, plyometrics, okay? Some jumping stuff that we can do. We'll come over here. So I've got a 16-inch box, right? Everybody doesn't have a plyo box at home. You don't need one, okay? You may have some steps out off the backside of your house, a cooler laying around the house, stepping off a truck bed if it's not too high, okay? We don't want it too high, but this is a good height for you guys. So I'm gonna do a stick first, stepping off this box. So we call it a depth stick. So when we step off of something and land, come closer. We wanna have our feet balanced on the ground, okay? Don't let our knees cave in when we land. And we wanna land squeezing our core tight in an athletic position, okay? So I'm just gonna free fall step off of it. And I'm gonna stick the catch and hold it for a 2 count, all right? I'm gonna step, stick and freeze. 1, 2, boom. I'm gonna try to do those a few times a week, getting 6, 7, 8 reps of those. Now I'm gonna add a jump to it. So I'm gonna step off this little box, jump, but I'm always gonna stick the catch, okay? Knees, I don't want my knees caving in on the stick. I'm gonna step, it's like I'm jumping off a trampoline. Boom. So those are depth jumps and the depth sticks. The better we are at sticking, okay, and absorbing all that force, the better we are at reapplying it. So we get really good at the sticks, we're gonna get a lot better with our jumps. The next thing we can do, I'll show you some skips and show you a couple more jumps you can do. So skips, we do skipping a lot, okay, with our athletes. The first one, I'm gonna do a skip for height. So I'm gonna try to hit my head on the roof. Now I can't hit my head on this roof, it's a little too tall, but that's the idea, is every time you're jumping, I'm thinking about exploding up and hitting my head on the roof. I'll show you about 15 yards of this. You can work this for about 4 sets of 20, 25 yards, but make sure these are skips for height, okay? We're trying to get powerful off the ground and get some height, okay? Make sure we take time to recover in between sets, but like I said, we want to get about 4 sets, anywhere from 15 to 25 yards. Okay, the next one is going to be skips for distance. So we're going to try to skip out this time. All right, I'll show you about 20 yards. Same thing, want to get about 4 sets of 20, 25 yards of these. So those are our skips for height. Skips for distance, we want the depth sticks and the depth jumps, okay? Another one we can do are split jumps. We're just gonna split our feet, all right? I'm down and up and I'm not switching legs, okay? I'm gonna get 4 reps on this side, all right? Then I would switch sides. All right, we can also do cyclist jumps. I'll just show you 2 on each side. We're gonna switch our feet on these. Okay, so that's 2 and 2. Start with your other leg up the next time. We'll come over here to the box. So you may not have, like I said, a box, but you can find some steps, right? Outside your house, off the back side of your house, maybe a curb, you know, make sure the ground's soft in front of it. We want our back foot up, okay? And we're gonna get all reps on one side, driving through the ball of our feet, driving our knee up and pulling our toe up, okay? So you don't wanna have ballerina feet. Each time we drive our knee up, we want our toe up, okay? So I'm gonna get, 3 to 4 reps on this side. So you got my back foot, my toes on the box or the step, all right? I'm gonna try to drive up, okay? Utilizing my arms, remember cheek to hip pocket, all right? Ball of my feet, knee up, toe up. So that's 5 reps. You can work more reps, 2 to 3 sets each side. So we've gone over some of our warm up, some of our plyos, but remember when you're sprinting, okay, you got to be fully recovered, right? You got to go all out, all right? So acceleration, shorter, right? So 10, 15 yards. Max velocity, we're 30, 40 yards. Big recovery windows, okay? Big time windows. We've got to be recovered so we can go all out, okay? If you're not going all out, you're conditioning. And I'll just touch briefly on conditioning. It's good to get out and do that. Don't spend every day of every week, okay, running miles or running 20 laps around your neighborhood, okay? You guys need to be fast, whether you're a lineman, linebacker, secondary guy, receiver, quarterback, okay? Speed development is key. Mix in just a little bit of conditioning, okay? So maybe once a week, go on a longer jog around your neighborhood. You can walk off, roughly 100 yards, all right? If you're a bigger guy or a lineman, you don't have to run as far as the skill guys, right? Because you don't have to do that in game anyway. So when you do conditioning, if you're a lineman, O or D lineman, shorten the distance some, okay? And if you don't have a big area to run through or a bunch of streets that you want to be running through, shorten the distance and just shorten your recovery. So maybe run, if you're an O lineman or D lineman, maybe run 80 yards, right? And give yourself a little shorter time before you run rep 2. If you're a skill guy, you can run around 100 yards, same thing, shorter rest period. That's good conditioning, but we got to sprint, man. You got to sprint, you got to jump, you got to land correctly. Another thing to touch on with the jumping is just old school vertical jumps, right? I'm just gonna get my feet set, arms are tall, I'm gonna go down fast, up fast, and stick the catch. Boom. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. We could throw a ton of different drills at you. Those are simple drills that you can do at home. Don't need anybody to do them with. If you do, good. Get a little competition, and you can do all this stuff at home, out on your sidewalk, find a field, a playground, in the street if it's not a busy street. And just remember, guys, stay committed, dedicated, determined, just like Brandon, the Burrows way. If you follow a lot of those things that Brandon, the way he lived his life, man, you're going to be a successful young dude. So thank you, guys, and get after it. Do it the Burrows way.
83%. Did you know that 83% of all learning in school is visual? Now imagine you're an 11-year-old child sitting in a classroom, unable to see the board, and your family can't afford glasses. Want to help? Now you can. This is Chuck Berry, and thanks to the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation's Eyes of a Champion program, children from all over Arkansas are being given the gift of sight. Log on to BrandonBurlsworth.org to see how you can help make a child's life brighter.
Okay, campers, you're in for a real treat. Coach Tommy Tice is going to be our speaker today, and he is one of the winningest coaches in Arkansas high school history. He's been inducted into the Arkansas High School Coaches Hall of Fame. He truly is a coaching legend. You may know him from the movie Greater, and he had a tremendous influence on my brother Brandon. He is at F.S. Garrison Stadium here in Harrison, home of the Goblins, and we'll send it out to Coach Tommy Tice right now.
Good afternoon, campers. My name is Tommy Tice. I've had the distinct pleasure and privilege to be around the sport of football as a player or a coach for 50 years. To be Brandon Burlsworth coach during his high school career. In putting this talk together, I wanted to give you some things I feel are necessary for success in football. That doesn't have anything to do with how big you are, how strong you are, or how fast you are. Every day, you have to start with a positive attitude. And that's an easy thing to say, but how do you do that? Well, you tell yourself when you get up, I wasn't put here to be average. Can you imagine if everybody said when they got up they were just here to be average? You weren't put here to be average. You were put here to be great, something special. And that's one thing that we can do. We can start out our day telling ourselves that. First, you must have goals. Brandon was the great goal setter. And we talked a lot about goals, but nobody ever told me way back in the day of how to go about that. And Brandon and I would discuss it. And Brandon told me, he said, Coach, they're only dreams unless you write them down and put them somewhere where you can see them every day when you get up to start your day. What's your goal? And I thought about that, and that's very true. And then you've got to discard those goals as soon as you accomplish them and go on to the next one. And then write another one down and put it up. Now, Brandon knew his plans, work he had to do was with prioritize the things in his life. That was faith, family, and football. In faith, he knew he had to have a good relationship with his God. In his family, build a relationship with his mother, father, and siblings. And in football, his relationships with his teammates and his coaches. He knew in all three categories that in order to be successful, he had to put others first. The third category, football, was mainly about his teammates. Football is the greatest team sport. 11 players, offensively and defensively, have to act as one in order to be successful. That's why it is the greatest team sport, and everyone has to work together. My old coach used to give us the example of the hand. With the hand, with the fingers spread out like this, it's not worth much. But if you put those fingers together in a fist, it becomes a powerful tool. The only responsibility you have as a member of a team is to care more for your teammates than you do for yourself. Don't ask what's in this for me. Be an encourager. Be a helper. Care enough to prepare yourself at your position to do whatever part it is to help your team be successful. You know, a star player or the guy on the end of the bench all have worth to a team and will play a vital role in the success or failure of any team. Another way to show your teammates your care is to have the ability to choose respect over popularity. Popularity is something you can never keep. It'll always be running away from you. Oh, you'll hold it for a while, but you'll never be able to maintain it. But respect, if you get that, it lasts forever. And how do you get one's respect? It's one simple word, the word trust. Now, Coach Lou Holtz used to have 3 things that he asked of every player on his team. First was, can I trust him? Can I trust him in the classroom? Can I trust him downtown? Can I trust him at home? And of course, can I trust him on the field? 2, does he care more for himself than he does his teammates? And 3, is he committed to being the best he can be? Now, these questions don't just run from player to coach. They run from coach to player. They all work back and forth. Can I trust you? Can you trust me? Do we care about each other? Are we both committed to being the best that we can be, or are we just occupying each other's time? Now, I will end by asking each of you 2 questions. Number 1, what is the main responsibility of your coach? It is to love you players. Now, not all loving is easy loving, and someday you may think that he doesn't like you at all because he wants you to do a step a certain way, because he knows if you learn that, it will add to the success of the team. If he doesn't correct you, if he doesn't teach you the right way, can you trust him? That's a great question to ask. Second question, and you know from this talk what the answer is. What is the main responsibility of each player? To love their teammates, to correct them when they're wrong, to set a good example for all to go by. We can all do these things as teammates. Now, not all of us can rise to the level in football that Brandon did. But by learning from his teachings, if you stay the course and maintain a good attitude, an attitude of always looking to tomorrow, you can be a football player and play a vital role on whatever team you're on, today and in your future. Remember, play the game of football for 2 reasons. Play because you love the game, and play because you love your teammates.
Thanks so much, Coach. What a meaningful message for all of our campers. All right, guys, we're going to move over to the quarterback position now. We're going to go to Jason Allen, who played quarterback at Arkansas and led the Razorbacks to their very first SEC win versus South Carolina in 1992. He was a member of the SEC Academic Honor Roll and was a team captain in 1994. He's got some great instruction planned for you. Let's give him our undivided attention. So let's go to Springdale, Arkansas for Jason Allen.
Hey campers, welcome back to Brandon Burlsworth Football Camp. Thanks for joining us. We're going to spend some time in learning techniques about the quarterback position. My name's Jason Allen, played quarterback for the University of Arkansas in the early 90s, and just love giving some time and help to young athletes, especially through the Burlsworth Foundation. You know, quarterback is a unique position. It's one of those positions in all the sports that people have opinions about, they admire, they talk about all the quarterbacks they like, and quarterbacks are known for different things. That they're tough, they're smart, they play well under pressure. But no matter which quarterback you admire most, all of the quarterbacks that are really great and make a name for themselves have to be accurate. And so quarterbacks in today's game, there's all different types, but they must be accurate. So we're going to spend some time today talking about how to become more accurate, doing a few drills that you can work on at home or outside of practice to make you more accurate. So I have a couple guys that are going to help demonstrate today on some things that I'm going to talk about. First one is Grant Allen, who played at Springdale High School. Grant plays at Ouachita Baptist here in Arkansas. And so Grant's going to kind of just stand here, and we're going to talk about some general concepts to throwing the football. Without getting too specific, we're going to talk about the things that are really universal and important to throwing the football. So first is where to place the ball, where to hold the ball. And so most quarterbacks will hold the ball comfortably under their chin. Not too low, not too high, but just comfortably where the arms are kind of make a triangle and they can move it back and forth right under the chin, okay? So that's always keep two hands on the ball. Ball protection is very key while you're in the pocket, even when you take off and run. Two hands on the football. So that's ball position. And when the quarterback is starting the motion, for a right-hander or even a left-hander, doesn't matter. The back leg, in this case for Grant, his right leg will be the leg that starts to push towards the target, wherever his target is. He'll start to push with the back leg. He'll end up on his left leg after he throws the football. So one thing too, the left shoulder, the lead shoulder, is kind of like a sight on a gun. So if he's throwing directly this way, that lead shoulder would be pointing down the field. His eyes will stay down the field. He won't be looking down or to the side, straight ahead to his target while he's holding the ball, ready to step and throw it with a good base in his feet. So when he decides to throw the ball, he'll start to push with the back leg, and then what happens up here, the separation begins to occur. A lot of people have different terminology, but this is sort of a loading, kind of like a pitcher will load. It's not a wind, but Grant will show you what a load looks like. It's a separation of the hands. While he's stepping to the target with his left leg, he's separating up top to load for the throw. Now, once he goes from load, he'll begin to transition his weight to his left leg to the target, and then his elbow, so go ahead and load, and then the elbow begins to move forward, okay? That's kind of an L shape, and then you get to this position right here. Now, a lot of quarterbacks in today's game throw at different positions or slots of the arm based on how tall they are, how big they are. There's a lot of factors. So what we try to say is keep the elbow above the shoulder line or higher. Don't drop it down here, okay? That's going to be a hard angle to throw from successfully. So at the shoulder or higher. And when you begin to finish the throw, you want to take the arm after the elbow comes through. The arm will extend to the target. And then at the very end of the throw, this action here, this index finger will leave the ball, and that's what, if you really pop the wrist, that's what gets the spiral. And then you follow through, take your hand and follow through by picking your left pocket, so to speak. Follow through just like so. Okay, so Grant kind of just show him a general throw. There you go. Back leg to left leg, separate, load at the top, elbow above the shoulder, extend to the target, follow through. Okay? So what we're going to do is just demonstrate some easy throws, but incorporate a receiver. So Brock Pounders, he played with Grant at Springdale. He also plays at Arkansas Tech. He's going to show you catch for us and show you how some of these drills work. So Brock, why don't you get down there, right? And we're going to stand. The first drill is just an accuracy drill while you're playing catch. Very easy to do anywhere, basically in your yard, on the field, anywhere. So basically, Grant's just going to step and throw the football 10 yards apart. You could be 20, you could be 30 yards. It doesn't matter. But instead of just playing catch with no purpose, we're going to have the receiver, in this case Brock, kind of put his hand in different positions around the clock. So he may hold his hand out here for the quarterback to hit at 8 o'clock. He may be 4 o'clock. It may be 12 o'clock. So Brock's going to choose different positions, and let's see if Grant can hit those spots. Great. He's going to just step and throw, nice and easy, working on his weight transition, elbow above the shoulder and extension. You really pop that wrist, and then also see how he follows through at the end of his throw. So when he steps and he transitions his weight, he's going to follow through and hold it. Okay, hold this one too, Grant. Do one more. All right, back up a little bit, Brock. Let's give him a little tougher challenge. Okay, do a couple here before we go to the next drill. There you go, good. And this way you're playing catch with a purpose. You're trying to be accurate while you're working on your technique. Do one more for us. Nice, okay. So that's just an accuracy drill. Now, the receiver can be at 5 yards, 10 yards, 15, whatever it is. Now we're gonna ask Brock to move side to side. Okay, so The important thing is that the quarterback throws to a spot, but in this case, he's throwing to where the receiver will be. So the receiver's moving, the quarterback needs to make his throw and anticipate an area ahead of the receiver so that he catches it in stride. So that's part of the drill here. So the quarterback can be stationary like he's already taken his drop, or he could actually take a snap and a couple steps while the receiver's moving and then make the throw. So the drill's a simple side-to-side drill. Go ahead, Brock. There you go. It's all right. So we'll go back and forth a couple times. Have him throw and lead the receiver. Take a nice drop. Hit him right there. Nice. Okay. Let's do one more. Nice. So you see how the quarterback throws in front of the receiver. That way, as he's running, the receiver catches it in stride. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stutter. He doesn't have to turn around. So a good quarterback will anticipate where to throw the football. This drill can be done in a lot of different fashions with extending routes and different angles. But the key is learning how to throw to a moving target and being conditioned to do that when you go live in practice or games. Okay, the last drill, so Grant, come here for a second. We're going to throw on the run. And so what's really important for a right-handed quarterback or left-handed, in this case Grant is right-handed, when he rolls out, he will want to make sure his shoulder, in this case, even though he's moving with his feet, is also pointed to the target. And his body's throwing and he's moving towards the target at all times. So we're going to demonstrate how a little rollout drill you can do with a partner on a field easily. So Grant and Brock are going to demonstrate this. And Grant is the quarterback here, and so he's just going to roll out like he's rolling to his right and do this all the way down the field. Do about 3 or 4 of these, Grant, and then we'll talk about you coming back. So he's going to roll out, take a half circle, work on his technique of 2 hands on the ball, move his feet, but keep his left shoulder to the target while he's running to the target. All right, on the way back, now he has to roll out to his left. And for a right-hander, he's got to really turn his torso and his upper body to focus, getting that left lead shoulder to the target while he throws down the line. Good, excellent. And then for a left-hander, it'd just be the opposite. So a lot of times quarterbacks will not turn their torso or get it all the way. They run to the right or left, but they don't turn and focus where they're throwing the ball, and they have less power. So you really got to get that torso turn while you're moving opposite direction there, going to the left to get that good throw to be accurate on the run. Okay, so thank you for your time today. We hope these drills will help you improve. That's the name of the game at this camp, is to improve in life, improve in football. And we really thank you, and best of luck this season.
How bad do you want it? Real bad! How bad? Real bad! How bad? Real bad!
Hello, I'm David Baker, and it's my great privilege to serve as president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. The story of Brandon Burlsworth's journey from a walk-on at Arkansas to the NFL just before his untimely death is now a movie called Greater. The movie premiered right here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's a story and a message of inspiration, which is exactly what we stand for here at the Hall. Commitment, integrity, courage, respect, and excellence. For us, and we believe for you, it is a Hall of Fame movie. I hope you and your family will see Greater soon.
Okay, that's day 4 of our virtual football camps. You were given some excellent instruction today by Price Holmes and Jason Allen. Let's go out and put it to work. We only have 1 day of camp left, and we will not be holding anything back, so please join us for day 5. Campers, let's remember to have a positive attitude and know that you are not put here to be average, because we want you to dream big, work hard, and make your dreams come true. God bless.